Greetings, it's Jeffrey Scott, and this is my launch video for the TradeStation app scanner. Last weekend, I posted a video that mostly highlighted the new TradingView tool set, and I had a number of email questions asking, what do you get with the TradeStation package? So I thought I would do this separate this evening. The TradeStation package is fully independent from the TradingView, and it includes everything that I'm going to demonstrate in this video. It is a inclusive package, does not require anything else to do the types of charting and scanning that I like to do. For those that don't know me, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I guess is the name I might use or word I might use. I'm an oncologist by training, a cancer doctor. I have started a number of healthcare startups, and I run one today with 3,500 employees. So to say that I am busy would be an understatement. When I say run, I'm on the executive team. I've been trading throughout my career, and when I say trading, is I like to swing trade, and I like to put my trades in late, and then um, put conditional orders in. And during the day, if I have a chance, I'll go into my Thinkorswim, TradeStation, Tasty Trade app, and I'll make adjustments in the trade. So the tools that I use are designed for end of day trading. They're designed to make it fast for me to find things that are moving and to allow me to have a life. So I'm very pleased to show you what I have and what I do. Now, start, I guess, with the disclaimer, as always. Any tools that I offer are for final purchase only and are enabled for lifetime use. You pay once, regardless of platform. Trading has many variables, and there's no implied or suggested performance guarantees with use of these or any other systems. Trading involves risk, and before trading, you should always consult your investment advisors. There's a learning curve to all tools. You should practice with paper accounts or only money you are willing to lose until you are consistently making money. Market environments can be challenging, and no tools or systems, styles, or anything will work in all markets. Past performance does not always predict future performance. As I identify trades and talk about how I might take them, remember this is education only and showing you how I use the tools. How I trade does not vary whether I'm using WealthCharts, TradeStation, TradingView, Thinkorswim. I trade the same pattern that I've traded for nearly 3 decades over and over again. What has happened is I've identified certain signals that often occur before major runs in the instruments that I am watching or trading. So I wanted to put together a set of tools to make my life easy. So I'm a top-down trader. TradeStation does not, well, it doesn't have a screener. So TradingView has a screener. There's FinViz. WealthCharts has ways of looking from the sector side. But so I typically will have another program, perhaps even the Q Edge tools. So I'm a swing to position trader. I use daily and weekly charts. You won't find any intraday charts here unless I was just screwing around. I'll use the indicators and scans to help me find setups. I trade equities and equity options. And my number one trade, stock in longer term uptrend, shorter term pullback to support, and then I want to find momentum off of support. I use rules-based position sizing and money management, and I'm a fan of seasonality, um, although that's not something we're going to talk much about today. But if you like my trading app, wait till you see the seasonality package that is available as well. And then in medicine, it's see one, do one, teach one. So I do weekly and weekend videos. I do mini mentoring, and I do at least 2 live meetings a year. But if you really want to learn how I trade, there's 20 years plus of weekly YouTube videos out there. Um, and you'll see how I transition from time to time between different programs, but my trading style is always the same. And I'm always looking for tools and things that can make my life easy. Now, one of the things that I highly recommend, and the fact that I'm showing you something in TradeStation should not be considered at all that I've changed my use of wealth charts. I'm doing this because A, I still use TradeStation, and B, I get lots of requests. Wealth charts is my favorite. It's stable. The data is built in. It has a ton of built-in indicators, scannings, charting, seasonality. Marketplace add-ins allow educators and indicator developers, system developers to get their stuff built within wealth charts. Features are updated regularly and there's live education, so it's more than just a trading platform. Again, I have weekly YouTube videos and then I have a site called stocksanddocs.com where I put daily. Wealth charts was really the first tool in 20 years that was good enough for me to change from my historical platform. And it includes a broad scope of capabilities, as mentioned, which allowed me to save money by canceling other monthly and annual subscriptions. So, still love wealth charts, and pretty much everything that I'm going to show you today is either in my marketplace package or I've asked Rob to put it in there. Not trying to beat wealth charts. I don't think I could. I'm trying to create an alternative, and those that would prefer to see my packages on TradingView and TradeStation. Why? I think I just answered this, so I might continue. We're going to talk at great length today about the scanners. For the wealth chart scanner, just go to my YouTube videos. I spend the last half hour of every video in the scanner. But we're going to talk about the TradeStation scanner. So the TradeStation scanner, the scanner functionality is built into TradeStation, but what I have is different. It's a TradeStation scanning app. It has some major advantages, and I'm going to show you those in this video. For me, it's nighttime, so I'll keep saying this evening. So I've had 2 new launches, a TradingView indicator set and the TradeStation trading app and indicators. They are different platforms, different partnership developers, and you don't need one to use the other. The challenge with TradingView is it doesn't have the scanning functionality that you get today in Wealth Charts or TradeStation. Again, why separate packages? I do this part-time because I still work. I have 3 different entities, 3 different programmers who develop my tools. Each tool is freestanding, doesn't require the other tools. There is no financial relationship between the 3 entities. And um, I may offer discounts for those that purchase tools on multiple platforms, but I can't offer any additional discounts on my Wealth Charts Marketplace package. So if you own the Marketplace package and you decide to buy TradeStation or the TradingView package, I will give you an incremental discount. And if you buy both TradeStation and TradingView, you'll get a discount on the second package. So I'm not trying to make it difficult. I'm trying to make these affordable and give you value. The other part of the value proposition, regardless of what platform, is teaching. I love teaching. If you ask anybody that uses my tools and have been on my trading events, I will go, just like Rob Hoffman, as long as it takes for you to tell me you're comfortable with using my tools. So we're going to talk about the TradeStation package. It includes most of what's in the TradingView and actually more that's in the wealth charts. The BONGO be a 2 time frame. The dots, 2 different trading systems, the EMS and the catapult, sometimes called CPR. My high jump, low jump, overbought, oversold indicator, some market breadth tools, and my relative strength cross. The market MRI scanner is end of day, and I'm going to show you that once we go through the indicators, and that's really the heart of the program. So I'm going to maintain these prices until the Monday, or excuse me, until the end of the day, Monday after Labor Day. So I'm not telling you got 24 hours. The app and indicators regularly $14.95, launch at $9.95. If you own my marketplace tools, you take a picture of the scanner and send it in with an email, and I'll drop the price to $7.95. All right, just to reiterate, that's my marketplace scanner that you would have purchased for $970. TradingView package is a lot less to program, and you can see $4.99 regular price, $3.99 launch, and if you can prove use of WealthCharts marketplace package for me, $3.49. Everything is a one-time purchase, including my WealthCharts marketplace package, and I'll ship installation instructions and videos explaining how I use the tools with the packages, and when applicable, especially in TradeStation, custom workspaces. Contact me at hgsidoc@gmail.com if you have interest. The BONGO is, to me, one of my secret weapons. This is something that I created with a couple of my friends, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and it's a tool for trending. And why it's important is I can scan various patterns. So this is my TradeStation chart. We're going to go through this during this session, but I have a 2 time frame BONGO in TradeStation. So it's got the daily and the weekly. I've coded them here red for BONGO off or sell, and blue for BONGO on or buy. You can change the colors to your heart's content. In WealthCharts and in TradingView, it's 3 time frames, but for my trading, 2 is plenty. It's a component of my simple market timing system. I use it to find pullbacks in an uptrend, so I can tell you right here without looking at the chart that the long-term weekly chart is in a uptrend and there's been a pullback in the short term. I can see here it's a pullback, and now I'm looking for momentum to be my trade. We'll go through more of this. I can use this in multiple different patterns, pullbacks and uptrends, retracements and downtrends, and I'll use it on indices, sectors, groups, and individual stocks and ETFs. No different than in WealthCharts or in TradingView. Now, I juiced up the timing system a little bit in this picture, but this is the same timing system that I have in WealthCharts and TradingView. I've got the spiders, the Qs, the Russell, and the diamonds, and I'm looking for price versus a 30-period WMA on the weekly chart, and I'm looking for the BONGO, which is blue, in a buy, and all of them are in a buy right now, although my conviction, as I mentioned in my weekly video, is not great. But if we put on moving averages, you'll see we're pulling in to what could be support, and we might get a bounce this week. The high jump to me is important. We'll talk more about it later. And then these little yellow lines that you see here are called the Hindenburg omens, and I use them to remind me if the market is giving signals of topping, and they will get me out and have saved me in a lot of emergencies, or not emergencies, but market big reversals. My dots, to me, is my secret weapon. It allows me to look at a chart and say, hey, whatever this stock is, it just came out of a squeeze. It has a breakout, a momentum breakout on big volume. The PSAR just flipped, and I'll know that this is a signal that I want to look at. I don't want to look every day at 1,000 charts that are going nowhere and chopping. I want to find the ones that are different. I want to find the ones that are starting to move. So my dots from the top, we'll talk separately about the EMS. The blue is an EMS buy, the white is an EMS sell. All right, but we'll talk about that later. The top dot is a big gap up, then there's big volume, breakout, momentum, squeeze in yellow, squeeze release in green, meaning it came out of the squeeze. Then we have the wilder PSAR, and then my single candle reversal is the green candle low, a red candle high. At work, when I was an intern resident and an internist before I became an oncologist, a cancer doc, I would use an EKG on a patient, measuring impulses to tell me their cardiac health. I use those same dots in my daily trading to understand the health of an individual instrument, stock, etc. So, not going to spend much time here. Top dot, which is the yellow and red dot, to make it distinctly different from the other dots, is the big gap. And that could be a big winner. Looks at size, volume. I try to filter out those in the bottom of the range. Certainly don't want to, I'd look at them differently where they close. The second dot down is big volume, which is this dot here would be the first green or red. And that one will reflect volume, which is conviction. I look at the current volume versus past volume over a defined period. I'm looking for unusual volume compared to recent bars. The next bar down is breakout, or the next dot down. And breakout, this is a special breakout signal that looks for movement away from the mean price clusters and giving me a warning of a statistical momentum shift in price. And lastly is momentum, which I've combined a couple of momentum indicators that I've used for years, and I found that when they're both firing in the same direction, it's a more meaningful signal. When I see multiple momentum dots in a row, I pay a special attention. So these are the same dots in WealthCharts, TradinvgView, and in TradeStation. The EMS signal can be plotted on the charts. It is a crossover system. It is a fairly rapid system, and it's one that I use when I have non-competes and I stay at home and trade because I'm not allowed to go have a regular job. And I've used them in futures trading. I've never traded Forex, so I can't comment on that. I use them in stocks in various time frames. This white and blue dot reflects the blue is buy and white is sell on the EMS signal. So that's the EMS signal, followed by the gap, the volume, the breakout, the momentum, and the squeeze, and then the Wilder PSAR, which is a standard, and then the green candle low and red candle highs. The CPR is a new one that I've introduced into TradinvgView and TradeStation. This is another type of a crossover system. It has results similar to what I call the leading MA, which is in the TradinvgView, but it's a different calculations, no overlap in code parameters. It is also fractal and also one that has worked well for me in other time frames and other instruments like futures when I had the time to trade them. I'm going fast through them because I really want to spend the majority of this session on the scanner, and we will have multiple education opportunities together for my students who purchase my tools on any platform. The Hi-Lo Oscillator, another secret weapon adapted from some of the teachings of Ian Woodward. I try and find stocks that have a measured extension that is different or greater than the past 200 bars. So when I start to see that I'm getting up here, it's telling me it's extended. Now I also have it down here, which would tell me it's oversold. So I try not to buy stocks when they're above positive 95 or short them when they're below minus 95, because you're starting to get to reversion to the mean territory. And you could see it went higher the next day, reversed, and it doesn't have to fall from the high jump to repair the extension. It just needs to go sideways. And then lastly, what's not in wealth charts and something that I've sent some documentation to see if we can get it added because I want the same in all my platforms are a series of my favorite, breadth indicators that I use on the NASDAQ Composite or the NYSE. And these include favorites like the Hindenburg Omen that I have no involvement in inventing, but it's a signal that likes to fire before major tops. How would you like to have seen this before 22? You think that might have told you there was something going on? Here was before the March of 2020. It's a very valuable signal. Often it's not going to be positive or it's not going to lead to a big fall, but excuse me, 25% of them will have significant and substantial um, market corrections. The BONGO is another indicator adapted from Ian Woodward that shows a market that is getting the opposite of baby out with the bathwater. Everybody's piling on their buys, often something that will signal before a top. And then the Eureka and Phoenix are things that Ian created that are give you a sense of breadth, exuberance, and when they fire, they give you a signal, the Eureka of the market turning around. It's maybe time to buy. The red, the market at risk. And the interesting thing is, if the market's already had a big run and you start getting the green Eurekas, it's probably rational exuberance to the upside. And if you start getting those Phoenix signals after a big sell-off, it's probably irrational exuberance to the downside, meaning could also be a reversal signal. So what you'll find is that all these are captured in the TradeStation. Something that's different is we built a relative strength versus a moving average indicator here that's customizable, so you can pick what type of moving average and what length is. So I'm able to put in my preference. Similar, we have this in TradingView. The other thing that's different here is we've created a relative strength indicator that's similar to what Cancelim users would use, that helps me identify stocks that have been leaders and outperforming the markets. Lastly, we already mentioned the high-low oscillator, sort of the definition of it. It helps me find reversals in stocks that are overly extended. I'll combine it with other indicators, support and resistance, and I'll also use it to filter things I'm looking at so I don't buy things that are overextended to the upside or short them when they're extended to the downside. Squeeze is nothing special. It's the squeeze that has been popularized, at least part of what's been popularized by John Carter. It's the Bollinger Bands moving inside the Keltner channel. He has added, excuse me, a rate of change indicator that helps on direction. I don't have that. That's his proprietary. But the squeeze is available in many programs, and I've incorporated it as well. So all that stuff is great, but what really matters is the scanner, and I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about the scanner. The CAT, the MRI scanner, will filter bullish and bearish setups, scans for stages using BONGO, finds reversals after extended moves. You've got the EMS signal on WealthCharts and the EMS and CPR signals on TradeStation. It allows me to cut the time for my analysis and gives me more time for what's important, whether it's my lovely wife of 38 years or Miss Molly, my granddaughter of 2. So let's jump into TradeStation. Let me show you what we get. So this is one of my typical workspaces I use. I've got 2 versions of the market MRI. One of them, I did a list of 2,500 stocks, and the other one I'm going to show you, the CAT combos, I think 1,100, and let's let it run. So while we're talking, it's going to run. It's 11:13, almost 11:14, and let's see how long it takes. Each of the things that we talk to are in this scanner. Symbol, description, price. Okay. Squeeze, release is when you come out of the squeeze. Rather than count up the individual dots, how many dots? Give me the stocks that have the most dots. They probably have the most movement. Up dots, down dots, there you go. With less than a minute, I just scanned 1,000 stocks. Here's the EMS signal. Here's a CPR. Green candle highs, red candle lows. Then I've got my daily, weekly bongos and how many days since. I have the daily relative strength moving average crossover, the weekly, the high-low jump, and relative strength. I just ran the CAT combo. Let's just bring up the down dots. So we're going to come back to these, and I'm going to show you the power in a few minutes. Now, at the same time, over here is the chart that I showed you before. I've got price, the CPRs on it, 17, 50, and 200-day moving averages. The white and the blue is the EMS signal. The yellow and red is the big gap. And then I have volume, breakouts, momentum, PSAR, squeeze, PSAR reversal, green candle low, red candle high. And the way I've set this chart up, followed by the high jump, the relative strength, here using a 30-period WMA, and then the on-balance volume, which is the same on-balance volume, but I'm able to customize it and put in different settings. And I actually like the 10-period on the OBV. So if I right-click, Studies, Edit, and I go to OBV, Customize, Inputs, and just cut it down to 10. Okay, close. All right, so when I've looked at great stocks, and I just put up ABCM, here's the relative strength. This is not my indicator, but inside the standard indicator set for TradeStation, you should be able to find an indicator that's called next earnings date. So mine is here, and I've got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I don't use. Next earnings date studies. Okay, I think you have to, I think it comes already set up in the App Store, in the apps for you. So I love having that, the relative strength of the stock, my moving averages, and I can just look down here, and right here where my arrowhead is, I had a blue EMS, that would have gotten me alert. I had volume, breakout and momentum, in a squeeze, a PSAR reversal. Now the part that would have been less attractive was the high jump was up. But I look at it and I would not have gotten too worried because it's coming out of a downtrend, and there really isn't that much extension, at least right here where we're talking about. It certainly gets extended as we go. Here is the same bar, and this is a CPR signal. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 dots and a CPR. I'm going to come down here. The high jump at that point had not gone high. The high jump, let's open up a data window. So right here, the high jump is less than that dashed line, so it's safe. So that's good. Again, let's look back over here. Notice the relative strength is crossing over. The relative strength of this versus the spider is crossing the moving average. My OBV is above its moving average. That is a plus 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 setup and a trade. And it's a trade that I usually, since I don't see this to end of day, I apply my trading rules, which is I typically set conditional orders to buy at a price above the high of this day. I will put a limit order. I'm not going to buy it if the stock opens up 20%. I initially put in a conditional stop order, and I'll teach you all the different things that I do. So that's a great pattern. Wouldn't it be cool if I could scan for every stock in the market that looks like that today? I can. So I'm going to open up the filter results, and I'm going to get to work. So I want price greater than 5. Yes. Okay. Do I want it? I'll take a squeeze or a squeeze release. We'll look at that. I want at least one bullish dot. I want the EMS bullish. I want the CPR bullish. I want the daily BONGO bullish, and I want to have it have changed color within 9 bars. Let's not worry about the, yeah, let's do that because that's going to help me avoid stocks that are way overbought. Weekly bongo bullish, daily relative strength. I'd like to have it crossed over less than or equal to 3 bars. And we'll leave weekly and let's hit OK. And now watch what happens here. Too tight. Let's go back into the filter and let's take off the daily M. Still too tight. Um, Sometimes when I see that, let's go no, not requiring a squeeze. Okay. So obviously I did it too tight. So let's look through price greater than 5, no signal, bullish dots greater than or equal to 1, bearish dots off, perfect, EMS bullish. All right, let's take those off for right now. Bullish less than or equal to 9, bullish. Okay. Okay. There you go. All right. So all of these stocks are going to have, we took off the CPR and the EMS. So some may have one or the others, and some will have both. All right. So INOD. Here's my dots. It's not, doesn't have the EMS. That's why it failed. Relative strength went through the moving average OBV. Look at the flip in the bongo. Okay. EVLV. There's the dots, the relative strength, the OBV. Getting extended, but this thing's gone sideways for so long, I probably wouldn't call it. When I see something like that, I really wonder about a takeout. Oric Pharmaceuticals. Don't know anything about this company except pull back to the 50, a breakout, so an EMS signal, a gap, volume, breakout momentum, relative strength through. That's my signal, relative strength 99. Wow, I love that. Okay, next one. This one I didn't like how it finished, but it has all the signals right here. All the signals right here. The bongo's the correct setup. Just don't like the fact it finished in the bottom of the gap bar. Um, Clean Spark is one that I talked about on my video this weekend. Notice on the bongos that it just went from red to blue on the daily, while the weekly has been blue. The relative strength and the OBV have crossed above, and I only needed to have at least one dot, but I've got a new EMS signal, a volume, breakout, and momentum. So what I did is I basically picked a pattern that I liked, and I was able to set up and look for that. So now let's look at that filter result right now. What happens if I add the squeeze or the squeeze release? So this requires one or the other. Hit OK. Okay, so now I've got all of these that were in a squeeze. Kaba is another one. It's kind of going sideways, maybe too much, but it had breakout and momentum. It's already in an EMS signal. Look at that relative strength and OBV coming across. I looked at that this weekend. So this is a great tool for helping you find in a very quick attempt some of the better stocks in the market. Let's go back into the filter. Let's take out the squeeze and let's add in CPR. Right, these are all of the ones that had a new CPR. This guy's probably running away from me and probably getting extended. Um, Now we do have the high jump. Now sometimes if I put something in there that doesn't have enough bars, I lose the high jump. There's the high jump back. So it's getting up towards extended, but it's at 79. There's your CPR. It's got an EMS. It's got a gap, and it's got volume. And the previous bar had the breakout and the momentum. That one looks interesting as well. So the beauty of this doesn't matter if bullish markets, bearish markets, If I want to find patterns, the scanner allows me to go through a list extremely fast. And just to give you an idea of how big this one is, there are a lot of stocks in here. And you saw how fast I'm able to customize it. Let's say I want to look for some bearish results. Okay, we could do that. Um, I got to flip things around a little bit. So one thing I'm going to flip around is I'm going to go bullish dots off, bearish dots on, bearish greater than or equal to 1. Um, I'm not going to look for squeezes to start. I'm going to look for a EMS is bearish, a CPR that's in sell signal. I want my daily bongo to be bearish, and I wanted it to switch less than 9 bars ago. I want my weekly bongo to be bearish. I want well, we'll start with this. And of course, we're too tight, so let's go back and see what we can take off. Um, no signal in EMS and CPR. Okay. All right. And so coming to the top is VIPS, VIPS. And here you go. I mean, how easy is this? I am in a daily bongo is red, turned within the 9 bars. So it was in an uptrend and reversed. I broke down here on the 50, which isn't something I'm scanning for, but I've got a gap down, a volume, a breakout momentum. My relative strength and my OBV have broken down. So are these all good trades? I don't know if they're all good trades, but this is a way to find trades that might be interesting. RELX, this is another one that I looked at this weekend. Um, breaking down here, EMS sell signal, 2 dots. It's got some resistance, or excuse me, support here, and that would potentially keep me from shorting it. Penn Entertainment, who would think? You announce a deal with ESPN for their betting, you gap up and crap down, and this thing's breaking down, and you could see a sell EMS, a momentum and breakdown to the downside, relative strength breaking down OBV. So to me, the secret of my tool set is the scanner. You can update the scanner 3 minutes after the market closes. You can use any custom list you want. Today in the market, I talked about in my market review how energy was doing well. So I have a energy basket. Let's reset the filters. Okay. Let's hit start and let's see what comes out of the energy. I've got some planned additions to this. I want to have presets on the scanners. But I just love this. So now we just looked at all of the energy. Let's see how many have a lot of dots. So there's geospace, EMS, gap, volume, breakout, momentum from a squeeze, relative strength and OBV. Cheap stock, but I'm going to be looking at that one on Monday. So I know Oxy looks good because I looked at it earlier. Now the challenge with Oxy is it's already broken out some, but I looked down here, the high jumps at 39.66. Um, I think this tool is great. Just to reiterate what you'll get with this purchase, you will get the following layouts. You will get this complete market, I call my market meter weekly, and I'm looking at the bongos, the 30-period WMA, and then I've got my Hindenburgs, my Bangos, the Eurekas, the Phoenix, and the high jump, advanced decliners, RSI, and Bollinger Band. Some of the tools that I use personally to assess the overbought, oversold of the market. The second one you'll get is my weekly timing system, which incorporates the price on the 4 ETFs, spiders, Qs, IWM and diamonds, the 30-period WMA, the high jump and the bongo. And then I put the Hindenburgs here just out of interest because I know personally that they have saved my bacon. I'll just put it that way. And then you'll get my market MRI production. The only thing that I got to take off of this so it doesn't feel like I am um, selling you something that I'm not is that is a Sager. It's called the memory. It's a great trend line indicator that I like using, but that's not part of my package. That's part of Sager's tools. Um, the scanner built into TradeStation, I'm not at this purchase selling anything that goes into there, nor into Radar Screen. These are standard, and they'll populate with whatever you have as indicators and put in there. The other thing I want to show you about the market MRI is pop it up in here. It is an app. It is not the scanner that you're used to using in TradeStation. You open it up by finding Market MRI. I don't know if you can even open a third one. Yes, you can. And there it is. And it's set to open up based upon your resolution or how much space you're going to give it. You'll notice sometimes it looks funny. All I got to do is wiggle it and it will set up perfectly. Um, I've been using this thing for probably 18 months. I introduced it at my Orange County meeting in June a year ago, and then it took me a little bit longer to get it ready for prime time. It's ready. I'd love to have you use it and join my family for trading purposes. So back to the PowerPoint, if we may. Again, you can see it allows me to filter bullish and bearish setup, scanning, reversals, EMS signals, CPR, reduce your time for analysis, more time for what's important. Again, I already talked about this. There is no business relationship between the three products, TradingView, TradeStation, or Marketplace in Wealth Charts. I am happy to give you a discount on my portion of the purchase. If you own the Marketplace package on Wealth Charts, again, take a picture of it and include it in your email because you only have it if you own it, and therefore I want to give you that discount. So just to review, TradeStation app and indicators, TradingView package is just indicators. It's a one-time purchase, all updates to current packages. Contact me at hgsidoc@gmail.com. I'm really, really happy. My programmer Van did an outstanding job. If you make your purchase, whenever you make your purchase, you'll be authorized within 24 hours of payment. Quarterly meetings by platform to review how I use the tools. I will vary my weekend reviews so you can see how I do the different platforms. Any updates to current indicators and many improvements will be included, and I'll provide email support, and as I've offered some folks today, happy to do team viewers and others to get you up and running. Um, I like trading. I like these indicators, and I really like the scanner. Have a great rest of the weekend.